Hey guys, this is Candle, and welcome to a new gaming pickups video. So, as I mentioned in my last channel update, I am going to be doing one of these pretty much at the end of every month, hopefully provided I can actually get enough stuff. And I do have a decent stack of stuff. It's a bit small, but they're mostly larger price stuff. So, anyways, let's go ahead and get started with the big elephant in the room, the hottest new release, God of War. There we go, God of War on the PS4. Basically, this is God of War 4. It's also known as Dad of War. It's a hell of a lot of fun. It is a lot more fun than I honestly thought it was going to be. I have played and enjoyed pretty much all of the other God of War games, and I knew this one's going to be different. I knew it was going to be different. I knew you didn't have the Blades of Chaos. I knew it wasn't going to be as overtop with the action, and instead you would have a lot more of an emotional story, but I wasn't quite expecting it to go in the direction it did from a gameplay perspective. We have kind of a semi-open world where it starts out with these hallways that you can kind of explore a little bit, but then it branches out once you get to the large area known as the Lake of the Nine, and you can kind of just go off and explore and do all this other stuff. And it's a lot of fun, guys. It is a huge amount of fun. I haven't quite finished it yet. By the time you guys are viewing this video, it will have been out for a little over a week. I'm actually recording this a few days before the video comes out, so I haven't quite finished it yet. I am quite a ways in, though. I think I'm getting close to the end of the story. I'm not entirely sure, though, because there were times when I thought I was close to the end of the story before, and something happened and it changed. And I don't want to go into too much detail because of spoilers and stuff like that, but still, it's a lot of fun. I would definitely recommend getting this. I have heard that if you play it on the PS4 Pro like I'm doing, it's better to use the favors performance rather than the favors resolution setting, which would bump it up to 4K, or if you were on the 1080p screen, it would super sample it. But I haven't really noticed too much trouble. Granted, I've been playing with the performance mode the entire way, so... But even still, it's a hell of a lot of fun. Yeah, God of War PS4. Next up, I have another PS4 game, and it took me a while to find a copy of this. I've been looking for it for months, and strangely enough, they had one at the local GameStop, and they said they had ordered it in specifically for somebody who had never come to pick it up. It is the Gravity Rush Remastered on the PS4. Now, this was originally a PlayStation Vita game, which I had and had started playing, but decided to hold off to play the remastered version instead. And I could have ordered this online a lot sooner, but the problem is I would have been importing a UK version, which would have still run on my PS4, since the PS4 is not region locked, but I wanted the US version if I could get it. And pretty much I really only like to import games if they aren't available where I am. Like on the PS3, Ratchet & Clank Quest for Booty was only a digital game in the US, whereas it had seen a physical release in the UK, so of course I imported that version. Still, it's a lot of fun. You're redirecting gravity and stuff. It's a lot of fun. I can't wait to play the sequel. Now I have to get a hold of that too, which is also a little bit of trouble to find, but not as hard as this one. Other than that, I also picked up a new Switch game. I got Fire Emblem Warriors, which is kind of Fire Emblem meets Dynasty Warriors, kind of like how Hyrule Warriors was the same but with Zelda. And just like with Hyrule Warriors, I'm really enjoyed this. The story is a little lackluster, which is kind of sort of to be expected, considering it's a Dynasty Warriors style game. Those things aren't really known for their huge stories, really complex. Well, they are complex, but they're not really very compelling, is what I'm trying to say. However, this one, it does bring in, you have a couple original characters, these two right up front. They're basically twins. Those are your main characters for this game that are original. And it also draws in characters from Fire Emblem Awakening, both Fire Emblem Fates games, both Conquest and Birthright, and then I think also Shadow Dragon, which was the DS remake of the original Famicom game, which we never saw in the West. But still, it's quite a bit of fun, especially if you like hack and slash type games. Beyond that, the only other game I really got a physical release of was Titanfall 2. If I can actually angle it so you can see it correctly. Yeah, I finally picked up Titanfall 2. Now, I'd played the original Titanfall on the Xbox One, which is why I got this on Xbox One as well instead of, say, PC. Also because I'm kind of in an EA boycott right now, which you would think, well, if you're an EA boycott, why would you get Titanfall 2 since they published that? But I picked this up used, so EA's not seeing any of my money from this. They already saw money from the initial sale of this game. They aren't seeing any of my money from it. However, the actual campaign, because unlike Titanfall 1, this actually does include a proper single-player campaign. It's really fun. It was short, but not overly short. It's actually a little bit longer than what you would expect from a typical first-person shooter campaign nowadays. It's about 6 hours long or so. And still, it was quite a bit of fun. And it really played around with the concept of shifting through time in one of the levels. And I think this came out around the same time as Dishonored 2, which also had a similar mechanic during one of its levels. I have not, however, touched the multiplayer for this game because it requires Xbox Live Gold, and if you're playing on PlayStation, it requires PS Plus, neither of which I have anymore. I don't really see the value in it. I don't really play multiplayer games that much anymore, and if I was really that hard into the multiplayer for this game, I would end up getting it for PC. So, either way, it's another game to add to my Xbox collection. Now, the last thing I got is kind of a bigger box. It is I finally picked up Oculus Touch. I finally got a hold of the Oculus Rift Touch controllers, which are actually sold part and parcel with the headset nowadays. I don't think they really sell the things separately too much, or at least they're not producing them separately anymore. You can still buy them separately, but I don't think they're really making them by themselves anymore. Anyways, this actually came with a couple games. Well, it came with one game, really. It came with Robo Recall, which was developed and published by Epic Games. And it's what I kind of like to call a stupor, which is kind of a standing shooter. You can move around a bit, but it's all teleportation based, because nobody, to my knowledge, has really figured out how to fix first-person movement, free-roaming movement in VR yet without making even people who don't get motion sickness, without making them feel a bit queasy. And, I mean, I have an iron stomach when it comes to that kind of stuff, and I haven't noticed any issues yet, but again, I haven't really played any games that allow free-roaming movement in VR. I keep hoping eventually I'll find one to try it out, but it hasn't happened yet. Anyways, I've got the controllers over here, and they're actually really kind of cool. I've got them in the wrong hands, though. They're really kind of cool. So, it comes with these two touch controllers, as well as another Rift sensor. So, I have two Rift sensors now, which doesn't provide full 360-degree tracking, but it does get quite close. I would need to add a third sensor kind of in the back of it to do that. So it's not quite the same as what the Vive does with two sensors, but it's pretty damn close. And these things, it's one-to-one tracking movement. You've got grips on the side, you've got triggers in the front, and then you've got face buttons and analog sticks. You've got one stick on each, and you've got two face buttons on each. You've got A and B on the right, and X and Y on the back, and then you also have like an options and an Oculus Home button. So anyways, those are the Oculus Touch controllers. And I didn't just play Robo Recall with these things. I am going to be getting more VR games in the future, now that I finally have the touch controllers. But I also picked up Abduction because it was on sale for $15, and I had a $15 credit on my Oculus account. And Abduction was it was kind of a point-and-click style game. It does allow free roaming in the 2D version. I don't know if I actually have the 2D version, since I bought it directly from the Oculus store. I think all I have really is the VR version, but I'm not entirely sure. I might have that wrong. It might include the 2D version as well. Anyways, I've been playing this in VR, and it is a lot of fun. It's really amazing. It's kind of in the same vein as Myst. In fact, it's a spiritual successor to Myst, and it's from the same people that made Myst. So it's really awesome. I can't wait to play their next game, which is Firmament, which is also being designed for VR first, and it's a lot of fun, guys. It really is. Maybe eventually I'll do a Let's Play of it. I don't know. I'll have to figure a few things out for that first, whether I do the 2D version or the VR version, figure out how to record it and stuff. Anyways, I know it's kind of a little bit of a shorter video than I've done in the past, but like I said, it was a smaller stack. That is all I have right now for this gaming pickup video. Another one will be coming at the end of this next month, hopefully, provided, again, I don't break my wallet. However, starting tomorrow, we start up new Let's Plays, and actually, I changed my mind initially from doing just one video a day to doing 3. So what I'm doing is I'm doing one video for 3 separate games. I'll be running them concurrently. So it's still one 30-minute video per game per day, 6 days a week. So I'll still be putting up like 9 hours of content a week, which to me seems a little insane. I need to focus on a lot of other things, including my writing and so on. But we'll see how it goes. So anyways, that's it for now. I'll see you guys next time. Please remember to comment, rate, and subscribe.